late last night and early today,
Yep.
at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
I heard about this.
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea,
Yes.
was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II.
But now they did see it. Wow.
It was a force against a heavily
That's a lot.
fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw
Caracas.
dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the
Iraq.
attack
Or
on
Iran.
Soleimani.
That was the one, by the way, when Trump killed him. He went out at like 2 a.m. and he just started talking shit about him, saying that like he died like a dog and like why didn't they come in through the front door to arrest the guy, and then he's gonna write a book and nobody gives him any credit. That was that guy.
The attack on al-Baghdadi and the
Oh no, that was him. No, that was
obliteration
yes.
and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently
Uh-huh.
in an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Midnight Hammer. How about
All
that?
perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military working with U.S.
I
law
love how people actually thought this wasn't going to happen. It was so obvious this was going to happen.
enforcement successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night.
Got his ass.
It was dark.
It was. I saw the video.
The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark.
A certain expertise that we have. So we were able to just like remotely turn off all their power. That's a little bit of a revealing a little bit of power level, huh? How about that? We just turned it off. The fuck?
It's deadly,
Okay.
but captured along with his
It's
wife.
fucking nuts. No, the thing is, like, anybody that thinks that the military, this is what's so funny. They think that they're not doing anything. These guys love doing this shit. They're doing it all. Do you really think that they're not trying to come up with the real Jewish space lasers? Really? I mean, if you were in the military, would you be trying to make space lasers? I would. Of course. Fuck.
Celia
Yeah, it'd be super
Flores,
useful.
both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores
And
have
by
been
the way, this is the reason why they don't reveal a lot of their tactics and what they do. It's because in doing so, they would reveal technologies that they don't want people to understand or be able to reverse engineer and try to account for preemptively in the future.
indicted in
That's
the
it.
Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its
The
citizens.
USA Hammer of Dawn.
I want to thank the men and women of our military
The
who
golden
achieved
hammer
such
of
an
dawn.
extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment.
Yeah,
If you
true.
look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to
Iraq.
the Jimmy Carter days,
Oh,
they were different days. We're
different
a
days.
respected country again, like maybe like never before.
With that,
These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They
Got
knew
they
we had
ass.
many ships out in the sea, were just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in a ready, what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and
so they were ready for this, and it just happened no matter what. Just clarify, you like Trump? I like things that Trump does. I don't like people, I like things. I like what he's doing here. I'm happy that he's doing it. I think it was a good decision.
Very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost.
So we didn't even lose any stuff? So they did like a hitless speed run? They did it in a half hour? Like, I feel, yeah, Call of Duty missions take longer than this. Holy shit. That's embarrassing.
We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I would assume that to be true if you just turned off their power. Yeah, I'd say so.
There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that.
Okay.
Even if you
He's
just
probably
look at
tired.
the boats, you know, we've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%.
Yeah, think about this again, right? Like, we just did this entire operation, and everything went off perfectly, and there was nothing that went wrong, and we didn't even lose anybody, we didn't even lose any equipment, and there's nothing they could do about it, even though they thought that it was going to happen. And you're trying to tell me that they don't know what's in the boats. Think about that. That they could have done this entire thing, kidnapped the president of the country, but they can't figure out what's in a boat. Think about how stupid you have to be to think that.
Each boat kills 25, on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out
Not
97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela.
Yeah.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So,
At least you admit it's kidnapping? Brother, use whatever vocabulary you want. What matters is what happened. I don't care what words you want to use at all. You call it whatever you want. Reframe it however you want.
we don't want to be involved.
Say call however you want to call it.
Having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years.
We nabbed him.
So we are going to run
He got
the country
nabbed
until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because
For
that's what
once.
we're all about.
Unless we're
We
not.
want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States.
Yeah, because
and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland.
You got Pokeball.
We can't take a chance that
You got
somebody
Master
else
Bulb.
takes over Venezuela that doesn't
Get
have
in
the
the
good
box,
of the
bitch.
Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time.
We're going to just run. What the fuck? We're going to just run the country. Okay. Look at Marco Rubio. Oh, no. Oh, God. No.
As a proper transition can take place.
He have gray
As
hair by the
everyone
end of
knows,
this.
the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure.
So we just basically took this shit over, and then we're gonna have the oil companies come in and just fix it up. Guys, again, this oil was promised to us 3,000 years ago. That's just the way it is. Exxon's so happy, yeah. Bet they are.
The oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
So we're just gonna get the money back. That's good.
Ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared.
If we need to do so. Well, how about that? And it's going to be worse this time.
To do a second wave.
Yep.
If we needed to do so. We actually
My
assumed
stocks
that
went
a
up today.
second wave
Yep.
would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do it.
He just out there talking shit. Bro, goddamn.
A
Still
second
talking
wave,
shit.
a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe.
Wow.
And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore.
That's right. They're going to have
The
oil now.
illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison.
That's why they did it at night. Because Solus, that's the sun, they attack at night. That way they don't know.
Responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, many
one step
Americans,
ahead.
Hundreds of thousands over the years of
Yep.
Americans died because of
They
him.
were at low power level.
Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American
Makes sense,
justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to, ultimately, New York.
Now they're there.
And then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's
I don't know what they have. Like, if it was up to me, I'd just say just shoot him. Just shoot him. Get rid of it. Because you get rid of the guy, then it's done. But, like, if there's a chance for him to go into a trial, and then it's going on and on and on, and then, like, there's a chance that you could build up a degree of, like, sympathy for it, yeah, I'd have just shot him on the way over. Just drop him off in the ocean.
both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to
99%
take
conviction
place.
rate? Maybe you're right.
For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking,
the thing is, they probably know why. They're probably keeping him around for a reason. I mean, not stupid. Like, they probably know something I don't know.
Gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States. Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide, and he did indeed.
Could be a bargaining chip.
They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they called police. They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now. And I just have to. In complexes, they cut the fingers off people if they call police. They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now.
Man. He almost 80 years old. He up here doing this shit. Jesus.
And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C.
That's pretty good.
We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago.
On the National Guardsman, yeah.
A little bit of a different kind of a threat.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have two, on average, 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going, they're walking their daughters. They're walking their children, their wives. They walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. Been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now. And crime is down.
Do it in Minnesota.
We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%.
Go round them up.
And the governor of Louisiana called, great person.
Oh, yeah?
And he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain
6-7. I know, guys.
Part of Louisiana. And we have done that. It was a rough section.
Iranian officials now lost so much of the money they were owed by Venezuela. Wait, Venezuela owed Iran money? Oh, no. Oh, no. I didn't know that. Probably a lot, right?
And then we have
hundreds of billions.
I understand.
You know, it's the way it goes.
It's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans.
What's up, Huey Long?
It's down to almost nothing.
I know him.
And we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago. Then crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there. When they need us, we'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it.
You'll know.
And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles.
That's true.
That's long after the fires.
Yeah, after that shithole.
That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess
out of there,
to being one of the safest cities in the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children.
Real bad.
They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua. And they were sent
Not so
by
brutal now,
Maduro
apparently.
to terrorize our people. And now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no
Probably
longer
not going to
be
happen,
threats.
yeah.
For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed.
Yeah, it's awful. It's funny how a lot of people are making criticism of the U.S., while most of the people that I know from Venezuela, including myself, are celebrating this. That's because, here, let me explain the reason why, right? And here's another thing I haven't said before. I'm not going to repeat myself. But, basically, the people that don't live in Venezuela don't have to live with the consequences of Venezuela. So Venezuela existing is purely symbolic for them. So if Venezuela has a good thing happen to it, then that's good for them because that's good for their ideology and it's good for their worldview. But if it has a bad thing happen to it, at least from their perspective, then it's bad for them and it's bad for their worldview. So they don't really care about what actually happens in Venezuela. They care about what looks like what happens in Venezuela, because that's what's going to affect their political viewpoints and their political expedience and their political power. So that's the entire goal they have. Yeah, I can't point Venezuela on a map. Well, I'm just saying in general, I think this is true. They give zero fuck about it. Yeah, they don't care about whether people die there or not. They don't care about whether there's a dictator there or not. All they care about is that Venezuela doesn't look like it's failing, because if it looks like it's failing, then it makes it look like their ideology is failing. Does that make sense? It's facts over feelings or reality? Well, it's optics over reality, more so than anything. But they don't have to live with whatever happens. Like, Venezuela is good, it's bad, doesn't matter to them. So it's purely symbolic. That's why they're angry.
This Venezuelan terrorist organization, really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst.
They say it.
Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn.
A lot of people are saying
Nungary
this.
from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungary. What happened to her? They
not really. It's the fact that Trump
they
did it.
kidnapped,
No, it's true.
assaulted, and murdered
You're right.
by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn.
I like this.
And
dehumanization. One step closer. One step closer. We got to get more of this. All right.
left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives. And they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons
worse.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher.
It's more long-term.
Mental institution isn't as tough as an insane asylum, but we got them both. They said,
Well, no, we don't have either one, man. That's the problem. That's the whole problem, man. You got to bring them back. You got to get them crazies and put them back in the box. That's the problem. Yeah, we got a big problem. We got all these nutballs running around wild.
from their mental institution.
Only guilty pedophiles worry about using the word beautiful on children. Actual pedo, you will not use the word. I don't. Who's thinking about this? Jesus Christ, relax. Holy fuck. Who's thinking
they
about
sent
this?
from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers.
Because he said that girl was beautiful.
They
What
were
are we
drug
doing?
kingpins. They sent everybody.
It's because he
bad
said that
into
girl
the
was
United
beautiful.
States.
That's why.
But no
Jesus
longer.
Christ.
And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and stole American oil.
They stole our oil. You hear that? Of course we can't let that happen.
It's in American platforms, costing us billions and billions
Just the
of
way
dollars.
it is. Venezuela? That's what they
did
call
this
it.
a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela,
Our wars are 5,000 miles
oil
away.
industry with American talent, drive, and skill. And the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations. And they
This oil was promised to us.
stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. Like we were babies in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it.
Oh, man. The content president. What can I say?
America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region, and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. They used those weapons.
They did? I didn't notice. What happened?
Last night, potentially in league with the cartels operating along
Yeah,
our
how'd that
border.
work out?
All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries.
They exploded? They blew up? Yeah.
Not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot.
Yeah?
By a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Document. I don't know. It's superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Monroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it.
Oh my God, the Monroe Doctrine. I saw a quote about this, and I was thinking to myself, no, he didn't. There's no way. There's no way he did this.
We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
Of course he did. Yeah.
Won't
what
happen.
was I thinking?
So just in
What was I
concluding, for
thinking?
decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way.
Yeah.
In our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security.
It's the oil.
Just like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels, and we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic. Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America.
Yeah.
But I will never allow terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States.
That's right.
This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American armada remains poised in position, and the United
Do you
States...
think dementia started to set in yet? He's just old. It's just like sometimes old people fuck up what they're saying. That's just what happens.
retains all military options
I
until
fuck up
United
what I'm
States
saying. I'm not even
demands
old.
have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them.
Wait, what? Wait a minute.
All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them.
Oh. So don't fuck around. Okay. All right. Got it. Makes sense.
Will happen to them if they aren't just, fair, even to their people. The dictator and terrorist,
not a
Maduro,
surprise,
is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. It's been a long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation. This morning,
the fuck around and find out index, is that what they call it?
It's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad things to us It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane. He's a fantastic man. I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good.
Give me. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. This morning, Raisin Kane, he's a fantastic man.
Sorry, give me 1 sec. I gotta use the bathroom, and then there's another one I gotta watch after this.
We're
good. Sorry about that.
I worked with some I didn't like. I worked
This
with
part
some
right
I
after a
didn't
QA
respect.
at the end? Okay.
I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last
All right, let me
night
see here.
one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice.
For
and
justice.
I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me see here. And there is more to this as well. So, oh, here it is. Okay.
Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Where's he at?
Well, thank you.
Man. Good job. You got the ass.
Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer.
Man.
American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry, and glory of the American warrior.
Damn.
I'm simply humbled by such men. And I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors.
I'm gonna be honest, like, that shit was crazy. Like, they went in there, didn't lose a single guy, didn't lose any equipment, and they just got the literal president of the country, and they brought him in and out with nothing going wrong. Like, I'm gonna be real, like, even if you don't agree with this, even if you think this is a bad idea, you gotta admit, like, god damn, bro, like, that's impressive. That's really impressive.
Are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off.
Probably true.
And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime.
That's right. We do whatever the fuck we want. Whatever this other fucking hall monitor shit people come up with on Twitter does not actually matter.
The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance.
He did.
Just like Iran had their chance.
Yep.
Until they didn't, and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out.
Oh my God. Wow.
And until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out.
That's right. We fucking got him.
President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us.
That's right.
And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength. And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026.
Welcome. This speech is crazy. like, fuck around and find out. Welcome to 2026. Iran thought that nothing was going to happen. Then it happened. Welcome to 2026. Yeah, wow.
Proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026. And under President Trump, America is back. I'd like to welcome now our Chairman Raisin Kane, to give a few more details about the operation. Mr. Chairman.
Man.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet.
Absolute Resolve. Isn't that a spell? It's a spell in Warcraft.
Precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd, and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal.
Final Fantasy boss?
An operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Okay.
There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again.
Yeah.
Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence agency partners and law enforcement teammates in an unprecedented operation.
Holy shit.
We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years.
Yeah.
This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Like, I haven't even really heard of an operation like this that even happened like this ever, that was this efficient and this clean. Like, I think about it, right? Like, when the fuck would this ever happen?
And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission.
Space Marines, yeah.
An extraction
I guess
so
the last
precise,
one, the Iran one.
It
that was
involved more than
really
150 aircraft
the Iran
launching
one was
across
huge.
the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose, to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters.
Yeah, they gotta go.
Let me talk a little
they
bit.
gotta go and take that reward bounty that they were gonna give out to Maduro, and then just divide it up. Like, any of the guys that were out there doing this, just go ahead and give it to them. Well, I feel like that's what's fair.
Bit about the preparation.
Like a bonus.
After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived,
Not
where
eligible?
he traveled,
Change the rules.
what he ate, what he wore,
Wait, they're tracking what he eats?
what were his pets. In early December,
Do you like this? The CIA guy starts smiling whenever they talk about all the ways that they're spying on him. Look at this.
our force was he wore, what were his pets. In early December, our force was set
God.
pending a series of aligned events.
It's like that was me.
Key was choosing
the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel. So as the president said, they could be brought to justice.
Yeah.
And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member...
Damn. 20 years old. And you're out there going to Venezuela. Holy shit.
Member was 49, and there's simply no match for American military might.
Damn, what the fuck?
As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area.
So they don't even say what they used. How about that?
The goal of our air component was, and always will be
they don't even
to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home.
Just weapons,
As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise.
Jesus.
As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I was laying on
or
the sofa.
2:01 a.m. Caracas local time.
I was laying on the sofa over there.
And the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force and self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home. And that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission.
So it's not really.
As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life.
Jesus.
After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro...
So that was an hour? They did this in an hour? Or is it 2 hours? Yeah, basically like 2 hours. Oh my God. I didn't know because of time zones.
And his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness.
This is why military recruitment is high? Yeah, obviously. Like, I mean, fucking obviously. Like, really, I mean, like, I don't know why anybody's surprised. Like, okay, there's not going to be any more gender shit. There's not going to, like, do you really think that the kind of guys that join the military want to hear about trans shit? Just for a second, think about that. Do you really think that the guys that grew up watching Black Hawk Down want to hear about being transsexual in the military? No. You know what they do want to hear about? They want to hear about the guy that's running the military having tattoos of the Crusades. That's what they want to see. Guarantee it.
Prepared to project power.
That's what they want.
Defend themselves and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission. Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Mr. President.
Man, how about that?
Well, I don't have much to add to what you've heard now, other than the following points. Nicolas Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States. He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't realize. Okay, so everybody knows this guy's a rogue retard. Wow. I thought it was just the United States. Maybe like one other country. But no, he's a rogue retard.
With a $50 million reward. Which I guess we saved $50 million. And
make sure.
Yeah, exactly. But
don't let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid.
I think they got to split that up, give it to the guys that did this. Like any of the guys that flew into the airspace that actually entered Venezuela airspace, just divide that shit up with them completely even. Just be like, listen, everybody's getting like a 200 grand, you know, like maybe 50 grand, like maybe like a million. I don't know how many it was. Yeah, just divide that up, give it out to them. Be like a bonus, like, good job, boys. There you go. I feel like that's fair. Yeah, like a New Year's bonus. Fuck.
He was provided multiple very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around.
So he wanted to fuck around.
And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country.
They want to play games.
Going to, you know, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration.
Yep.
Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Oh my God. Wow. Play the Biggie song? Yeah, I guess so. If you don't know now, now you know.
Because this is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to...
With the whole line? What did he say after that? God damn, I forgot.
To understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences, and, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. Mm-hmm. There's a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy, but instead he wanted to play big boy. And so now, you know, he's got other sets of problems on his hands. And
now, yeah.
And but I think the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody.
Big boy.
We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Is that a message for Cuba, Mr. President?
Here we go. Oh boy.
Please.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but it's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
There you go. We're going to get that oil. That's our oil now.
The U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they
we'll
always
see
say
what happens.
Boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it, but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot, and we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
It's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Damn. Okay.
Would run Venezuela.
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time the people that are standing right behind me.
We're just going to run the country. Okay.
Be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead. You know, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country.
I hope that they don't get too distracted by Venezuela and stop focusing on domestic problems, because I think that while this is a good thing and I agree with it, I do think that it's important that they're able to put the focus on American needs and what Americans need in the immediate future. Because, like, I think this has been one of the big criticisms of Trump so far, is that in a lot of these cases, it's been a prioritization of these foreign problems, these international problems. And I think that he's done a relatively good job dealing with them. But at the same time, these are not things that really put food on the table for an average person. So that's really the main issue. And so I understand oil affects energy. I get that there's like a downstream vertical effect of this. I get that. But at the same time, there is still tons of fraud in the Minnesota stuff, for example, right? And all of these scams. That's something that they also need to be hyper focused on, because the problem is that they use those scams to fund political activism that opposes the people that are trying to get rid of the scams. So as soon as it's exposed, you need to cut it off as soon as possible before it can shift and manifest into something else that you can't really tell anymore. So that's really the reason why.
Doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership.
Asylums, yeah.
Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading.
Domestic issues are because of politics, Congress, and courts. In contrast, the U.S. has 100% power on military affairs. I mean, can't he just didn't the court say he could invoke the Insurrection Act recently? I feel like that. I don't know if it was that or it was something else. I forgot what it was. But like, I mean, he has a lot of power to do stuff even here in the U.S. And also, like, you're not going to have to worry about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so really, like, that's the level you should be thinking and operating after, right? Is like arresting judges, putting other policymakers and lawmakers in jail, putting governors in jail, putting Congress people in jail, finding these police stations that are not, arresting people, putting them in jail, going after the actual people that are causing the problems, and then taking the people that are benefiting from the problems and putting them in jail or deporting them, right? One or the other. And so that's really what has to happen, because yes, it's great that we're helping Venezuela. This is good. Americans going to be able to, do this. Yeah, sure. It's nice. But like, I want to see something happen with stuff here. That's my viewpoint. And I think that's the biggest, legitimate criticism of Trump, is that, one of the biggest at least, is that the over focus on international affairs. And it would be good even like if there was one person inside of like Trump's cabinet that is just like laser focused, hyper focused on like domestic issues.
We're not going to take a chance at one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military.
Stephen Miller, I like
So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Rubio would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship going?
I understand she was just sworn in.
Yeah.
But she was, as you know, picked by Maduro.
Yeah.
So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Great.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So
he's not concerned about anything happening to him? Why not?
Just what your message is.
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Mr. President.
I don't know why he wouldn't just, like, why would you do this? Like, after this has happened, because, like, you could say the Iran thing was, like, okay, it's a fluke, right? It worked out really well, and that is what it is. But now you've had the Iran thing and this. I mean, geez, guys.
Did you notify
do you really want to be
members
number
of
3
Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was
you want to tell them.
a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest.
You can't tell those people because those people will go and tell the press or alert other people. It's best to not tell them.
Of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
obvious.
The Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good.
Man, he just says they're making shit up. This is what I think they should do. So if you're leaking information that's like classified military information, what do you think I think should happen to you? You're right. That's exactly what I think. It's crazy that we even put up with this for even a second.
If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, you know. A lot of ships out there,
obvious.
they sort of knew we were coming.
Yeah.
We went through. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
You were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened.
Could have happened.
He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is, all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people
just killed. They speed ran that shit? God damn.
Were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel.
Okay. Well, there it is. So it wouldn't have even mattered. Okay. 47 seconds.
Was he? It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me.
that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight,
you'll pretty much have peace in the Middle East as soon as the Iran's done. As soon as they're cooked, things are gonna pretty much be okay, unless something else stupid happens that like we don't know about yet.
Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know, we're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow-up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. Mm-hmm. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it. And we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country. Yeah.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to the oil
China
and drugs?
and Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say.
So we're going to take their oil and then we're going to sell it to the other countries? Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Sure.
We're not going to give it.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
In other words, we'll be selling oil. Probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad.
Yeah.
So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom
Why should the U.S. have all Venezuela's oil? Explain it. I don't get it. Well, we're not. I mean, we're not having all of it. I mean, like, obviously, that wouldn't work. Like, I mean, it would cause a huge amount of problems. Like, obviously, the people of there are going to get it. It was our oil. Some of it was, but others probably not as much. I'm sure they're going to get some degree of benefit from it also.
We're using it now.
3,000
but
years
I would
ago,
say
I've heard
many
of that.
more will come.
are you saying, Mr. President, are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that?
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country.
Yeah,
and they destroyed it. Remember I said that if we lose this election, the United
somebody says this is Iraq all over again. What happened to object permanence? Let me ask you something. What about this makes you think it's like Iraq? What makes you think that? Why do you think it's like Iraq? No, it's okay. No, it's all right. It's all right. We're going to listen to what he said. Saddam deposed quickly? So, wait a minute. So your logic is that because we got this guy quickly, it's going to be like Iraq? Is that the logic here that you're using? Like, I'm not even really sure exactly what you're trying to say. U.S. doomed to spend 20 years? We got ourselves a bot, bro. We got ourselves a bot going in here just saying the same thing over and over and over.
The United States will be Venezuela on steroids.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election,
very sad.
We suffered so badly when you look at the border from 2020. What they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military troops to provide?
They're going to be a team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro. And right now she's the vice president.
He'll be back.
She's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice.
I don't know if gracious is the word.
We're going to have
probably
this
more
done
like
right.
afraid.
We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough. The people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States, and frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
In the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're very protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
Are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think
it's a good question.
It's because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, I think it's important to ask those questions. Even though I agree that he should have done this, I still do think that it's the right decision to ask those questions. It definitely is. You should always ask those questions. That way you give somebody a chance to answer it.
Well, Cuba's an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Oh, about Cuba?
Well, I mean,
yeah, he's Cuban.
I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. Suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way,
he just went and called them retarded.
All of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba that tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Putting up the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
I'd be concerned. Okay.
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
The answer is yes. Yes.
Is the U.S. aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect within
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial, so it's not going to cost us anything. We want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what was happening, and you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend.
It seems fair.
So it's going to be it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
I'd grab his ass right out the air.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke?
Well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said,
what's he going to do?
You got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly.
He let him go as a political reason. He's like, okay, well, like, you guys all like him. Okay, you can have him back. Yeah, okay.
I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail.
Sure.
I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. Yeah. That's why I gave him a pardon.
Maybe, right. There's probably more to it.
You referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that country?
No, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending our expertise in. So you may need something, not very much. But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground. And that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela.
You gotta get the oil.
People from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela.
Yeah.
And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Unless
President.
it's a bad question, in which case I'll go one word. It's about who?
It's about Putin, if you want.
About Putin. Well, that's always nice to talk about Putin.
God.
You had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't. We never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now?
Are you mad at him right now? Oh my God. I love this. So are you mad at Putin? Straight to the point, yeah. You mad? I love how Putin didn't even talk about Maduro. I didn't give a fuck about him.
At all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't. We never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled.
He's mad. Yep.
Thrilled with Putin.
He is.
He's killing too many people. I thought that would be so.
Are you mad? Yes,
I
I'm
settled
mad.
8 1/4
there it is.
war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about.
They had a war, if I remember that correctly. This was a war over some fucking temple or some shit like that. And they were fighting each other over some ancient Buddhist temple. And then it was over in like a day. It did not, like, I only got one video out of that.
5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words,
8 1/4 of wars. Okay.
Settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace, so I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's not.
How about that,
huh? They both have done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last month, 30,000, it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2%, now they pay 5%. And we send them a lot of munitions. We send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings that come from 2 places that are very far away.
Yeah.
But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess. It's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities throughout, a much smaller number, but they're being killed,
There are
viciously
civilians
killed.
that get killed in Ukraine.
So
still.
I'm not happy
Not as
about it.
many.
I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But
It's true. He had a meeting. You know how I watched this? I watched this on Hassan's stream because I had already gone offline at the time, and he had a meeting with Putin, and I watched Hassan watch it, and I remember seeing Putin say that the war wouldn't have started if it wasn't for Trump, or if Trump was president. I did. Remember watching this.
Inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin.
Yep.
I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general, and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long, that I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath, and we want it to get stopped. Thank you very much, everybody.
Wow. That's a big one. Okay. The war started in 2014. Oh, with the Crimea thing, I feel like there's clearly a delineation, right? I mean, I think you're intentionally trying to misunderstand. It's not really worth looking at. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is great. I mean, I'm happy. This is good. We'll see kind of where things go now. But right now, also, I'll look at this too. There's some more stuff. Let me finish all this stuff up with this before I can I move on to some other stuff. So we're going to Russia next. Are we going to Russia? I mean, I don't think we're going to Russia, but maybe. I mean, I have no idea. So, yeah, but it does look like, by the way, this is Chavez and Maduro impose every socialist policy imaginable. I mean, again, it's just the place is obviously a shithole. He was obviously a dictator, and it's obviously good that he's gone, right? You can disagree with, Trump trying to run Venezuela and make money off of the oil or something like that. But if it's our infrastructure that they basically repurposed and took back from us, and I feel like it's kind of fair for us to get some of the money, right? So, yeah, now they're raiding New York. Maybe we're going to Ukraine. I don't know about that. The protesters in New York City all have the same sign. Well, yeah, I mean, that's just what they do. They love making protests and complaining about stuff and doing all of this. It's very common. What is this here? This is about me. Grab a gun. What is this here? Oh, geez. This is more about me again. I don't know. Kyle said something stupid. Who cares? It's already gone. I forgot even what it was now. So do you think Marco's a yes man to the administration? I like him. I think that to a degree you have to be a yes man, and also that's not really always a bad thing. The fact is that you do have to work. You have to work with and then work inside of a system, and sometimes that system isn't always going to be hyper favorable to you, and sometimes you're going to have to make concessions and stuff like that. So this is what I found to be kind of interesting. I saw this. Do you support the U.S. military intervention in Venezuela to depose Nicolas Maduro? So this is in America. This is all demographics. Excuse me. Yeah, there it is. Male, obviously. Most people, obviously, very clearly. Men and female generally both support this. Ages, I think as people get older, they generally do support it, especially it looks like Gen X supports this a lot. And college degree supports it less. No college degree supports it more. Venezuelans, this is what's crazy. Venezuelans support deposing him more than the citizens here do. So this entire idea that it was like an attack on them, that's not what they think. So you have also political ideology. Take a look at this. So you have the right-wing people massively support it. Center-right people also massively support it. Center people are kind of half and half. And then left-wing people massively, overwhelmingly, 94% of left-wing people support, or at least don't support deposing Nicolas Maduro. That's it. And I think the reason why is very simple. It's because this is a socialist, this is a non-white, non-Christian, non-Western government. And so all of their ideology is built around enabling, supporting, and basically saying that that's good. They like commie dictators. That's basically it. And or is it TDS? I mean, I think it's probably, you're right, column A and column B. There's a little bit of both. But what you can see is this top bar is what matters. Overwhelmingly, pretty much most people support this. Not only do the majority support it, the overwhelming majority support it, which I'm not surprised about. I think you could easily expect that. So yeah, there it is. And let me go back and see if I can find this. And hate with their left and right, Venezuela president. But all I'm saying, yeah, what is this here? People will defend psychotic dictators, places where they murder and beat gays and women, anything that's against the U.S., just because they don't like the president. Hate left, right, hate left, right, whatever you want, but I'm seeing is Venezuelan people celebrating the removal of that piece of shit out of their country. But what are people in the U.S. on Twitter doing? Crying about it. Meanwhile, it's a good thing. I swear, if the United States captured Osama bin Laden today, you'd see thousands of Americans on Twitter crying about it. You're so full of shit, it's sickening. Bro, let's pause. I don't know why I wasn't following him already. That's, yeah, fucking true. You're right. Absolutely. 100%. North Korea launches a ballistic missile. Wow, where does it go? Into the water? What is this? I'm gonna just turn this down preemptively.
This news is so awful. I'm so terrified. It opens up doors. Now
This
they
is-
could come and do the same thing to us. And
This has got to be fake. It has to be fake. There's no way somebody's that weird on their own. I feel like that's acting. I do. What the fuck? In my 19 years I've been alive, this is the first time I'm going on a walk on a free Venezuela? Man. How about that?